So today we are going to discuss another very fascinating part of tunnel engineering, that is a TBM machine or tunnel boring machine. Okay. So you might have seen photographs or you might have heard the news. You might have heard the news of various tunneling operations going on nowadays in India as well as abroad. And in we can say that almost all the tunneling operations nowadays are done by this TBM machine or a tunnel boring machine. And what it is actually, so it's a machine which is used to excavate the tunnels, and generally the cross section is circular because the machine itself, it is circular in shape. We'll come to the photographs later. So this I had discussed it when we were seeing the topic of classification of tunnels based on the shape. So in that also I told you that though circular tunnels or circular cross section, it is suitable for conveying the water or that kind of utilities, but it is widely used nowadays because the TBM itself, it is of a circular cross section. So that's why the tunnel also comes out to be a circular one, and then we have to fill the invert and then use it. Okay. So the main point of a TBM is that it can bore through any kind of soil, almost any kind. So it can be used for hard rock, it can be used for loose soil such as a sandy soil, and almost anything that is encountered in between. It may be a stratified rock, it may be a fractured rock, or it may be a expansive soil, or any kind of thing. Your TBM can be used. So based on your material that the TBM encounters, so there is a TBM for hard rock drilling, or there is a TBM for hard rock. There is a TBM for soft soils also, but that is with the modification that it has a slurry TBM or earth pressure balance TBM. So we'll come to that later. What is a slurry TBM and a earth pressure balance TBM? But for now, just remember this, that your TBM, it can be used for any type of soil. Okay. And if I talk about the diameters or the size of these tunnels or this TBM machine, so you can make a tunnel of any diameter ranging from a meter, as small as a meter. So in that case, that TBM is also known as a micro TBM. Okay, just 1 meter diameter tunneling is done. So that's a micro TBM, also known as micro tunneling, that we'll look into towards the end of this unit. And the max to max, it is up to 16 meter. Okay, till date, whatever works have been done, and obviously some more also, or some larger diameter TBMs might also be there in process or still in use. So as far as the data that I've taken here, so it is saying that it's 16 meter max is the diameter which is seen till date. Okay. And though, sorry. So as I told you, this smaller tunnels which are having less than a meter size, so those can be used in laying of your pipelines as well. Okay, large sewer pipelines or water pipelines. So there you can go for this micro tunneling and also the trenches technology. This is also something that we will cover in the towards the end part of your unit number 4. And now this slide contains a lot of data on it. I'll just leave it to you for reading. I'll just highlight the main points about TBM. So it's, you all know the very primitive method of TBM. Very primitive method of creating a tunnel or constructing a tunnel is hand mining. When you have a soil and when you encounter rock, so drilling and blasting is the method. So both these methods are used or suitable in that particular kind of strata, that is rocky or soil. But TBM, it can replace both of them, because I told you that it can construct a tunnel through almost any type of soil or any type of layer. And the main advantage of using a TBM is that it has a very special quality that it limits the disturbances to the surrounding ground. So you all know that in Pune, we have a Pune metro construction going on, and a part of the metro line which goes from Katras to Swargate or towards the civil court. So a part of it is underground from Swargate towards the old city area. Okay. So there this TBM machine or this TBM construction is in process, and if anybody of you is still in Pune, so you might, if you travel through those parts, you'll not even notice or not even know that there is a whole machine, a huge machine which is drilling underground, and you are traveling over it. So that's the main advantage of your TBM, that the disturbance is less. So that's not the case in drilling and blasting method. So that's a very good advantage for TBM method. And also whatever walls we get in this TBM method, those walls are smooth, so it is, or there is no need for extra concrete lining, different lining. The lining itself is taken care within the TBM operation itself. Okay. And it reduces the cost of lining, as I told you. So you can use it in heavy urbanized area. And the disadvantage, if you talk about, so the disadvantage is the upfront cost or the initial cost of TBM. So as I told you, it's a huge machine, and it has to be first prepared in factory or the yard, whichever it is, and then you have to assemble it, partly assemble it, and then bring it to the site, or sometimes it is assembled on site itself and then it is lowered into the shaft. Okay. So that's the major disadvantage. But if you compare the long-term scenario, the life cycle cost, so nowadays whatever tunnels you excavate, or if you have a longer tunnel, say a 10 kilometer or 20 kilometer, such kind of length, so in that case, if you apply the economics and evaluate that how much will be the cost for drilling and blasting and how much will be the cost for TBM, so in that you'll surely get that the TBM is more efficient, because the rate at which the construction can be completed, it is quite shorter duration as compared to the drilling and blasting or even the hand mining method. So there it has that advantage. So though we have, I'm saying that it is a disadvantages of initial cost, but this can be overcome if you have longer tunnels. All right. So this is the actual photograph of a TBM. Okay. Now this is a TBM which is there in a factory, and then it is, I have written, it is ready to be transported on site. So full photograph of TBM will only see when it is in factory, and rest of the photographs will find a little TBM. Those are during installation process or during the working process. So you will not get a complete look of that TBM. So that's why I've taken this photo, which is a TBM in factory. So as I told you, it is assembled, this huge TBM. You can see the size. It's a real time photograph. So you can see the size of the people and the size of the TBM. So that's the huge scope of work that we are talking about. And then there are obviously, if this much is the size of the machine, it has to have some working mechanism or different parts which will work together, and then it will be able for the TBM to go through the rock surface or the soil strata. So now I'll explain you the working using the animated photographs, because those will be more clear and you will come to know the different components of the TBM very well. So starting with, we are saying that we are using this TBM because we have to create a tunnel. In short, we are going to excavate something. So for excavation, surely you will need the first priormost requirement is a cutter head. Now cutter head is just like a drilling bit. In a drilling machine, whatever drill bit you have, so that drill bit, what work is it does is, it does the work of making a hole into the surface wherever you are drilling it. Okay. So same is the case with the cutter head. just assume it or visualize it as a big or a huge drilling machine or a huge drilling bit. Okay. So this cutter head is capable of rotating, and due to that, whatever is the surface, whether it's a rocky surface or a soil or a sandy one, whichever it is, the material is excavated. Now this excavated material, it is collected inside this excavation chamber. Okay. So there is a gap between the rear face of the cutter head and this actual assembly, rest of the assembly. So that gap is nothing but an excavation chamber. So the grooves in this cutter head, if you see over here, now whatever this black spots or black components you see on this cutter head face, so these are the actual cutting bits or drilling bits, and whatever gap you see here, okay. So these gaps are nothing but they are arranged in such a way, or the shape is such that whatever is the material which is drilled, it will go through these gaps and then it will be collected into this excavation chamber. Now once it is collected, obviously we have to take that collected material or the material in the excavation chamber. Now you know the technical term for it, it is called a muck. So you have to take that muck outside the tunnel and then dispose it of by the appropriate means. So the process of taking out that muck, it is done mainly by a screw conveyor. Now here you have an option, mainly screw conveyors are preferred, or depending on the type of soil or what kind of material you are going to encounter, these conveyor system it changes. So it can be a screw conveyor, it can also be a belt conveyor. Okay. So in case of a rocky strata, instead of screw conveyor, belt conveyor is used, because rocky strata, it will give you a muck which is having different sizes of cut rock pieces. Okay. So they might hinder the operation of a screw conveyor. So their belt conveyor is used. Screw conveyor is used where you have a soil, soft soil or a slushy type of soil. Okay. So like this, you can have a variation in this segment. Okay. So you can say this is the screw conveyor, and the screw conveyor, as in it is a spiral, whatever threads you see on a screw. So in the same way, the threads are there and it is acting as a large screw and it keeps on rotating, and in that process it takes out the material or the muck from the excavation chamber. Right. Then another component here you see is a bulkhead. Now bulkhead is something where you through which you maintain the pressure in this excavation chamber. Okay, because though we are saying that it is going to collect the muck for a temporary duration and then it is going to transfer it to the conveyor system, but you need to maintain the pressure in case you are starting the excavation or the amount of muck collected is less. So in that case, the pressure has to be maintained. Otherwise, whatever is the force of the rock or the soil which is encountered, so that will try to push this cutter head inside. Okay. So you need to maintain a pressure over there. Then the shield of the actual TBM. So whatever is this covering you see, so this is the shield of your TBM. Okay. Now you might ask the question that, okay, that's all fine that the cutter head is there, it is rotating and it will excavate the material. The material will be collected into the chamber, excavation chamber, and it will be conveyed outside through the conveyor system. But how the tunnel actually progresses forward, or how this TBM actually moves? Because if you see this photograph, whatever this supports you are seeing, these are temporary supports because the machine is in a factory. Now once it is taken to the site, you will not get these supports. So you will just have this cylindrical kind of thing. So how it will actually go ahead? So for that you have this assembly, okay, of thrust cylinders and jacks. So whatever this golden color tubes you see, golden color and white color tubes, so these are the ones which will move your TBM ahead as the work progresses. So it's a combination of hydraulic jacks and thrust cylinders. That's the name given to them. So once, if suppose this much is the face that is excavated, so during the excavation itself, as the material goes on, or as the material is collected into this excavation chamber, you have a space which is created in the front of the cutter head. So your TBM, it is moved or it is pushed, just like a like I have given this example before also. Whatever jack you have in your car to use for a use as a temporary support during the repair works or changing the tire of your vehicle. So that jack, it just lifts your vehicle upwards. So if I place the same jack in the horizontal direction and then if I start applying the pressure on it, okay, then it will push things. So same is the case here. So just imagine that jack over here, but actually it's not that jack, it's a very sophisticated hydraulically operated jack, and then you have a number of those around the periphery of your TBM. Now this section, what you see, it is a cut section. Okay, that is, the TBM has been cut from the center, and then a part of it is shown over here. So these hydraulic jacks or thrust cylinders, they are installed throughout the periphery of your TBM. And what I will do is, the moment the space is created in front of the cutter head, these hydraulic jacks, they will push this whole assembly. Okay, they will push this whole assembly ahead, and then it will go or accommodate the space, empty space in front of it. Okay, and then now you will say that, okay, if this happens, that things are pushed ahead and then your TBM moves, then what happens to the rear side? Okay, so in that case, as I told you in one of the advantages of or introduction of TBM, that there is no need of creating a separate concrete lining for your TBM constructed tunnels. So the reason for it is that we are saying the excavation is going on and simultaneously TBM is moving ahead. Along with this, one more process is going on simultaneously, that is installing segments. Okay, now these segments are nothing but, if you see over here, okay, these are curve shaped segments. Okay, such is the shape of the segment. If I say this is the front view, and in the top view it will look like a rectangle itself, and then you'll have some holes in it, okay, for grouting purpose. And side view also you'll get more or less the same kind of view. Okay, side view will be something like this, what you can see in this photograph over here. So such segments, they are casted in the site, or sorry, on the site itself, in the construction yard, which might be nearer to this tunnel site. And then these segments are casted, they are precast members, and they are casted from the perspective of the tunnel size. So you know that what will be the diameter of your tunnel and how much will be the perimeter of the tunnel and what will be the shape. So from that, these segments are casted and then they are transported, and you can see here each segment is arranged in a line. Okay, so it's a long machine. This TBM is a long machine, so you have this line of segments, and you have something called this gripper shoe. Okay, so this is the gripper shoe. Now what it does is, it is a rotating thing. Okay, it can rotate 360-degree in any direction. Both the directions it can rotate, clockwise and anti-clockwise. So this gripper shoe, it rotates. Okay, whatever this shapes you see over here, so it can rotate and then it can lift these segments up. okay, temporarily, and once they are lifted, it is placed in the desired location. So here you see or observe this much length of your tunnel. So already the segments are installed over here, and if you see a closer look, or if you can see closer, so these are single segments that are installed over here. Okay, now I am just drawing on the faint line that is there, that is demarcating the different segments. Okay, so just like you have a brickwork, so same way think of this as a brickwork itself, but instead of bricks you have segments, and then they have grooves in it. Okay, so once the segment is taken to the desired location, so as I told you, there are holes in this segments, okay, through holes. So through that holes, the rock bolting is done. Okay, bolts are inserted into the surface earth crust, and then it is grouted, and this hole is filled. Okay, so that segment will not fall off when the machine moves ahead. Okay, now this is done simultaneously as there is the other operations going on. So in a TBM, you will see that the excavation, okay, I'll just use a few short forms. So the excavation, the mucking process, okay, mucking is nothing but the process of taking out the muck towards the end of the tunnel. Then the forward movement and the segment lining or segmental lining. So all these four processes, they go on simultaneously. It's not like first one process or first only excavation will be done and then mucking will be done and then the forward movement. It's not like that. This whole machine is programmed in such a way that it can undertake all these four operations simultaneously, that is excavation, mucking, forward movement, and segmental lining. Okay, so in that way, whatever is the tunnel, it is constructed in one go itself. So as you had in drilling and blasting, or even in NATM method, you had seen that first you excavate, then you give a temporary support, and then you provide a lining to your tunnel. So that thing or that process is done simultaneously over here. So that's why there is a reduction in time, and then you can complete your projects at a faster rate. And the last component that you see here is a belt conveyor. Now this belt conveyor, as in whatever is the material collected from the screw conveyor, it is, you can see, it goes through this, and you have a dumping channel over here, and then it is dumped on this belt conveyor, and this belt conveyor, it takes it out of the tunnel. Okay, so these are the main components of your TBM. And here again, the components are shown along with some description. So this I have told you already, so I'll just go through it again. So this blue color face, whatever you see, that's the cutter head, and they have written rotating cutter head. Okay, then obviously to operate this machine, you'll need an operator. It's not an automatic machine, so this is the control room for that machine. Then the excavated muck is removed through the conveyor belt. So this is the conveyor belt line. And as I told you, in the excavation chamber, also known as the cutting chamber, okay, which is just behind the cutter head, the pressure is maintained, and that is because it should not happen that your cutter head, it gets damaged or jammed due to the pressure exerted by the rock or the soil which it is cutting. Okay, so that's why this pressure has to be maintained. And then the rotating arm, and now this again, there is a different term, or the terms are different for different make or different kinds of TBM, but the meaning is same. Like this rotating arm is nothing but this gripper shoe. Okay, so they have just used a different terminology. So gripper shoe, it is the actual thing which grips or holds the segment for a moment, and then your rotating arm, it will rotate that shoe itself and then it will place. Okay. So rotating arm adds the precast concrete tunnel segments to form a ring. So this I have explained. And whatever jacks you see over here, okay. So these are the hydraulic rams or hydraulic jacks which push against the newly placed concrete. Okay. So you will also ask, or this question might also arise in your mind, that for a jack you need some sturdy surface or a base, like in a car also. So you place that jack on the road or on the horizontal surface, and then you start lifting that jack. Okay, so one side of the jack, it should be placed on some fixed support. So likewise, whatever is the segmental lining which is done, so that segmental lining, it is a concrete lining, okay, just made up of precast segments. So that will act as a firm base, and then on that firm base, your foot of the jack, it will be placed, and then it will push the machine in the forward direction. So hydraulic ramps, they push against newly placed concrete segments. That's the meaning of it, to drive the machine forward. And precast concrete segments, they are delivered to the rotating arm. So again, for delivery, it's a conveyor belt, or it's a mini track that they lay, over which the segments are transported from the outside of the tunnel towards the core of the TBM. Okay. And at the bottom, if you see over here, they have shown that this TBM is generally 150-meter long. Okay. And you can see a small dot over here. So they have scaled it to show the size of this tunnel boring machine. That this small dot, or whatever it is, you can see that's a single person. And then as compared to that, what is the size of that TBM? Okay, so you can imagine the humongous nature of this machine itself. Yeah, and this is one of the finished photograph of the tunnel construction using TBM. So on the right side, whatever tunnel you see, so you can see these segments. Now these segments are the ones that I was talking about, the segmental lining. Okay. And if you look closely, there are small holes in it, and these are the holes that I was talking about, in through which the bolting is done and the grouting is done. So this is the finished surface, what it looks like when a TBM comes outside after doing its job. So on the left side, what you see, this also, the TBM has finished its cutting, and now you can see the cutter head, and now eventually this whole assembly, it will be removed, and you will get a finished lined tunnel like this on the right hand side. Okay. So if I talk about the stages of tunnel construction, now obviously you have to start somewhere. So where you will start? So you start at a launching shaft. Now you have seen what is a shaft. Shaft is nothing but a vertical hole, you can say, that will dig into the hill or whatever is the area, and through that, or that shaft has multiple purposes. It can be used as a ventilation mode later on, or ventilation opening, and during construction it can be used to lower down your equipments, and you can start tunneling from that shaft also. So you can start tunneling from the main face as well as the shaft side, so that the operation goes on speedily. Okay. So likewise, you have this launching shaft. Obviously, the name itself will tell you what that shaft does. Is it is used for launching the TBM. Launching the TBM, as in you have to dig a tunnel here. Okay. Now, for pictorial representation, I have shown you that you have a city area, and then you have to construct a tunnel below it. Okay. So at one end, you will have a launching shaft through which you will actually lower the TBM, and it will start from here. Okay, so this is the TBM, and then once it starts its work and starts constructing, you'll get a tunnel, and where the tunnel ends, so there again you have to remove this TBM from the ground, okay, which is there underground. So again you will excavate one more shaft at the beginning itself, that is known as retrieval shaft. Retrieval, as in for taking back the tunnel to its to the surface. Okay, so you have a launching shaft and a retrieval shaft. So excavate the launching shaft and retrieval shaft. That is the first stage. Now, once the shaft are excavated, now you see in the second photograph, the bottom left one, the shaft is nothing but it's just like an excavation pit. Okay. Now, depending on your size of your TBM, the shaft size will depend obviously. That it will be just suppose the TBM, though it is 150 meter, but we don't lower the whole 150 meter at a time. We first lower the, or this is the main part of your TBM that you lower first. Okay, so whatever is the size, depending on that, you will decide that what is the shaft that you will require to lower this TBM, and then whatever is the remaining, or out of this 150 meter that I have shown here. So this is the main part, and whatever the remaining assembly, this you will go on lowering after you start the tunneling operation. So initially after few meters, then you will get a space, and then you can start the lowering of the other additional accessories for this TBM. Okay. So here you can see the TBM is assembled into the launching shaft. It is lowered with the help of a crane. Then the third step is the actual cutting and excavation process where the TBM works. Okay. And the final stage is, as I told you, once the tunnel is completed, then you have to take the TBM back to the surface through the retrieval shaft. Okay. And then once it is taken to the surface, it is completely dismantled or disassembled. Okay. So again, this TBM, whole TBM, you can lower it, or if you are having a very compact area like in cities, so there even this much TBM or lowering or creating this much diameter shaft is not possible. So in that case, this TBM, it is assembled in parts. So in factory, what you see here in this figure, so it is a complete TBM which is assembled in the factory itself. But if your site conditions do not permit you to lower this complete TBM at once, so you will assemble it in parts, and then the remaining assembling thing, you will do it in the shaft itself. Okay, after lowering it down. So the same way, while retrieving also, you will dismantle it step by step in stages, and then you will take it to the surface. So this is the stages of tunnel construction using TBM. And just to end this summary or end this session, so while searching for the content of this presentation, I came across a very interesting website. So it's called Allied Market Research. I have written the source at the bottom. So on this website, or one of their web pages, tells us about the tunnel boring machine market. Okay, so what they have done is they have forecasted what opportunities you can have in tunneling from the year 2018 to 25. Okay. So they have forecasted just based on the data that they had, that what is the demand of TBM, what types of TBM, where they are used, for which type of project they are used. So based on that, they have just done the research and extrapolated the data to get the market trend. So the tunnel boring machine market, it is expected to reach this much, $8,000 million by 2025, and the growth rate is 6.4. Okay. So that means every year there is a steady growth in this tunnel boring machine market. So if tunnel boring machines are being sold at such a rate, so obviously they are going to be used where in the construction works and where the civil engineers come into picture. Okay. So this is one of the area that you might want to explore, and the purpose for showing this slide is the same, that generally everyone goes after a very common trend which is going on in the industry, that after BTech or B, you go for a master's and you do construction management or structures or environment or hydraulics or transportation or any other stream. But a very few people, they know that you can do a specialization in tunneling itself only. Okay. So there you can, or to make you aware of that industry, I have included these slides. And again, I have taken this few graphs from the same site itself, Allied Market Research. So here they have shown that for which types of TBM, how is the demand. So this slurry TBM, earth pressure balance TBM, this I will discuss in the next lectures. So here you see the trend is increasing, and then it is more for these three TBMs: earth pressure balance, slurry, and shielded TBM. And other allied, it is less. And same is the second graph on the right side. So here they have shown for what is the purpose that tunnels are being used and will be used. So 2017 trend, if you see, so the most widely used is for obviously road transport, railway transport, metro, and then a less amount for other purposes like utilities as in pipelines, then mining purpose, oil and gas, and other use. So here also you see a major chunk, it is related to the road transport. So they have written a summary also that road transport, it holds dominant position. Okay. And here on the left side, the earth pressure balance TBM is the most significant one, which has a good growth rate. And the reason for is this earth pressure balance shield TBM, it is useful for tunneling operation in soft soil. Okay. So we were discussing this in the previous lecture as well, that what are the types of tunneling methods in soft soil. There we had seen the needle beam method and NATM method. So TBM is also useful for soft soil, and especially the earth pressure balance shield TBM. Okay. So that's why their growth rate is seen to go on increasing, because till now what was the thinking that if you have a hard rock, then only it is very easy to excavate a tunnel. If you have a soft soil, then you have a lot of difficulties. But this TBM, it has taken out all that difficulties and converted it into opportunities for new inventions. And again, one more last graph related to the market. So again, the Asia Pacific market, it is estimated to grow at a very fast rate. So Asia Pacific, you are studying there, you are living there. So there's a lot of scope for people in Asia or in India also, because nowadays you see a lot of places the tunneling operations are going on, tunneling constructions, and there you can very well work and use your expertise and gain expertise as well. So this is all with today's lecture. I'll stop here.